In the heart of Penticton, where the vibrant hues of the Okanagan landscape meet the golden years of life, a remarkable journey unfolds. Welcome to Artsy Aging in the Okanagan, a captivating series exploring the transformative power of art classes that help enhance the lives of seniors and create a tight-knit community. Penticton, a picturesque town nestled between lush vineyards and the tranquil waters of two Okanagan lakes, becomes the canvas for a group of seniors on a journey of self-discovery and lifelong connections. As the series unfolds, we witness the laughter shared over spilled paint, the joy that comes with creative breakthroughs, and the warmth of a supportive community that transcends age and background. Artsy Aging in the Okanagan invites viewers to join this enchanting journey where art becomes the bridge that connects hearts, crossing the boundaries of time and bringing colorful vibrance to the golden years. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your background and experiences with seniors art programs in the Okanagan area?
Certainly. So my name is Bethany Hanfield, and I've been working in the not-for-profit sector in the Okanagan since 2012. I worked at the South Okanagan Women in Need Society from 2012 to 2017, and that's where I met Alice, and we worked with the Wisdom and Energy Project together. And then from 2019 to 2023, I was the administrator at the Penticton and District Community Arts Council, where we worked together again with the Artsy Aging Project that was a component of the Aging Well Penticton project. So when we were working together at Sowens, and you were leading a lot of the classes for the Wisdom and Energy Project, I think we really identified a need there because women were coming for counseling and that type of thing, or staying at the transition house, but there wasn't kind of a lot of normalizing activities for them as well, especially for seniors when they were dealing with more historical abuse as well. And so I think with the art classes, it gave them a point of contact to still get together, to still maintain friendships and then connections with the organization. And I think one of the really beautiful things that we saw through Wisdom and Energy too, which is really due to a lot of the work that you were doing with the women as well, was when they felt confident to maybe even lead some of the classes themselves. And to sell their work at the markets was really amazing to see, and just gave them a lot of agency about who they were and how they were moving in the world.
Right, because we had the summer market for that year, right?
We did that for a couple of years.
Right. Yeah.
And then you had the role modeling for that too, right?
Yeah.
About being a business person and how, you could do this type of activity, for the fun and the passion of it, but you could also turn to dollars.
I don't know how many dollars, but it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. And with the Aging Well Penticton project, when we got the contract through
One Sky?
Thank you. When we got the contract through One Sky and Patricia, when Stacy and I were kind of trying to sort out what are we going to do as our portion of that with the Arts Council? I mean, it was a no-brainer that you were going to be the person that we wanted to have. Number one, because we knew that, the participants would feel safe and comfortable with you, and that you'd also, you'd bring so many exciting and different opportunities for them to explore their creativity. And sometimes that can be a little bit scary when you don't know what you're getting involved in, and you were the perfect person to lead those types of activities, because people would just feel right at ease when they got into the room with you.
Oh, thank you. And I saw that job and went, oh, that's me.
Yeah. Well, it was you. Literally. We had your name in the proposal.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was really cool to see how that project blossomed and grew as well. Taking it to the mall, so increasing accessibility so more people could come and, have a try it type experience, and then seeing the flourishing that happened there, because some of those try it experiences actually led to a gallery show as well, the Artsy Aging exhibition.
Right.
Which is really neat.
Yeah.
There's so many people showing for the first time at, advanced stages. So that was really cool.
I so enjoy the mall paint groups, and really we've had some people who have attended regularly since they've been there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have any idea that this program was happening. They're not people who stay in touch necessarily with the Arts News or the Arts Council.
Yeah.
So we've had some people who joined in at the mall and have come at every session since then. So yeah.
And that's what's so important about the building the community piece of it.
Right, we're actually looking at doing more of that in the future. So and I like doing that part. So I like all of the program. I so enjoy doing it.
Right, and you're so good at it.
Thank you.
I want to share a tiny story with you, which I'm sure I remember, but maybe you can remember the name of the artist. And it came from the Aging Well exhibition, the Artsy Aging exhibition. And it was a gal who used to do very fine detailed watercolor, but through, physical changes with aging and that type of thing, she didn't have the dexterity to do that type of work anymore. And so she moved into acrylics because it was more forgiving. And I just remember her saying what a gift it was to be able to have this group and this show, because she'd shown before a lot when she was younger. And so just the opportunity to have this again, and then she had 2 pieces of her work from when she was younger and then she was older in the exhibition together.
I think I know who you mean, but though the name's not coming to me.
Yeah.
Yes, and her husband was a stamp collector.
Oh, he was the stamp collector.
He was the stamp guy. He has regularly sent me stuff to Artsy Aging through the Lear House. Here's where the painting he did at the mall has been used with their stamp club and stuff. So he sends me pictures and updates regularly.
Oh, that is so cool. And that was his first painting, right?
Yeah. And he put stamps all the way around it, and it was a guy looking through a magnifying glass.
Had the cotton wool for the hair.
Right, yeah. He had so much fun doing that painting. Yeah. Right?
Oh, that's so neat. And that reminds me of one more story from that show. It was local artist Tovey Green. I believe it was her mother-in-law. And I think she was 96 or 97, and she again had been kind of a lifelong artist or somebody who dabbled in creativity, and she couldn't work in any of the mediums because of arthritis. And so the family engineered this ball with a stick on it so she could still do scratch art. Right. And so she had one of her scratch art designs in the exhibition. And I just thought that was a really beautiful thing where the family stepped in and created an accommodation for the mother-in-law so that she could still create. So
she could do something she still enjoyed so much.
And loved. And then we got to love it too, because then we got to see her beautiful creations.
Yes.
Inspiration.
All right. In what ways have you seen art contribute to building connections among seniors community in the Okanagan?
So art as a modality for bringing connection to seniors in the Okanagan, I think has been very important, especially because where we live, sometimes there's geographical isolation. It's not kind of like living in a big city where there's a lot of density and people can be in close quarters all the time. And so I think having these types of activities, especially when they're in multiple locations, it really brings folks together. And we noticed that especially after the pandemic. I mean, this kind of talk was happening before that happened, but I think even more so after the pandemic, the importance of ensuring that the seniors are connected, that they have community, that there's folks that are checking in and looking after each other, and also that, here's an amazing outlet for your stress, for being creative, for keeping your mind spry and excited. I just think it's just such an amazing and important factor of who we are at any point in our life, but definitely as we're growing older, as a point of connection and as a point of really like helping us, continuing to tap into our heart and our humanity and keeping us together.
Right. I've just seen this group create this wonderful community in the group where they're so supportive of each other. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of my favorite stories from the Artsy Aging group was, I think it was Christmas of 2022, and Ken couldn't come out because of the snow. You all were having your Christmas party, a Christmas potluck. So everybody had brought things in, and you had some activities that you were doing. And then once it was discovered that he could, because of mobility, that he couldn't be there, somebody went and got him.
Yes.
And that was, I just absolutely loved that, because to me at heart, like, it's about the art, it's about the creating, but that's also what it's about too. It's really bringing everybody together and making sure that nobody's left behind.
Actually, he went through a bit of a rough patch with some illness, but he's come back.
Oh, good.
And he always brought a bag of rocks, because he paints rocks. And he'd bring his own project every time. And in the last month, he hasn't brought any rocks. He's starting to be much more a part of the group. And he's just so much fun to be there, you know, just to have in the group.
Yeah.
He has a little glint in his eye when he says he likes spending time with all the ladies.
Oh,
in
yes.
the group.
Yes.
But really,
very much so. Very much so. I just think that's so beautiful, that the relationships and the friendships that have formed through there.
There's some, you know, artsy agers that it's very clear when they come in that they feel very isolated and alone. And just watching them slowly mesh into the group and form friendships and support, I find that such a huge rewarding part of my job.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, it's so beautiful, and they love you so much too. So
they think I'm teaching them. They have no idea how much they teach me. How do you believe the presence of art programs for seniors has positively affected the broader Okanagan community?
I believe that the art projects for seniors have really affected the broader Okanagan community in a very positive way. I think it puts visibility on seniors, especially when there's exhibitions, you know, when there's different types of event, like when the Knitters did the Knit in Public Day. And then it's really kind of like getting people together, getting them out of their homes, building up relationships and friendships, and I think that isolation is such a big, and loneliness is such a big, what's what I'm looking for? Okay, let me rephrase that. I think that isolation and loneliness are sometimes a little bit epidemic here, and especially after the pandemic. So it's getting people out, getting people together, and it's really kind of like building community back again, because sometimes that can slip away. And so I think it's really great when folks are getting together and being out.
I agree. Having a healthy and happier seniors population just improves the whole community.
And I think also too, you know, it's sometimes, even though we have really large portions of senior population in our area, that sometimes they still get overlooked for things too. Art is kind of a young game. And so I think when we think about, you know, exhibitions and that type of thing, like, you know, like making sure that senior art is still out there and visible is really important, because they have a lot to say. You know, there's a history of lives there, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, like, you know, still keeping that at the forefront is really important.
What advice would you give to seniors who might be considering joining art classes or groups?
Oh, just do it. Just do it. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's going to be amazing. And if you are nervous about going, you know, find a friend to go with you, or let the organizers know that you may be a little uncertain about going, and so they can have somebody to greet you when you get there. But just try. You know, it's never too late. It's never too late to start. And art is so good for the mind and the body and the spirit, and you'll love it. You know, and if what you try isn't right for you, there's so many different things to try. So keep going until you find the thing that fits, right?
That's one of the things I try to do with the Artsy Aging group, is offer all different mediums. You know, somebody you see their eyes light up when they try pastels. All of a sudden they found something that, you know, sparks their imagination and feeds their heart. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
One of the things I think that's interesting about the program is we started it with a registration. and it's developed into a drop-in instead, because seniors don't always know when they're able to go out. So they might register and say, I'll be there Tuesday, and on Tuesday they might not feel well enough to go out or something like that. So I've heard over and over that they, from the Artsy agers, that they appreciate that it's drop-in, that they don't have to necessarily attend every session. They can come once a week or once a month, and whatever works for them. Yeah.
And I think also, having the drop-in fee, like it's just the toonie, it's kind of a nominal thing as well too, because you want to make sure that the threshold is, low enough that pretty much anybody can attend. And of course it's waived if somebody has a barrier to that as well.
We've totally waived the toonie drop-in fee now. We've totally waived it.
Oh, wonderful.
For some people who are on very limited incomes or disability, that kind of thing, $4 a week can make a big difference to making it through the month. So we've changed it to by donation, and I actually think that we're actually getting more money in that way, because there's people who stuff $10 in and say, this is so worth it to me.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
How would you like your story and experiences to inspire others, both seniors and the community at large?
I think for thinking about inspiring others for working with art projects for seniors is just, go out and find the resources that are available. There's so many grants. There's locations that you can reach out to where you can have projects, like our partnership with Cherry Lane Shopping Center. Like, they give us that space for free. With the Lear House, like not having a rental on that as well. Just dream it and do it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Talk to the different community associations. So many people are happy to be able to partner and support with this type of activity, because they know how much benefit that it has. So I think that, if you're not sure about how to make something like that happen, talk to your local arts council, talk to your local community association or the community foundation, your local art gallery, and first of all, see what's available. But if there isn't anything available, create something yourself. And it's just as easy as that. And find an Alice.
Find an Alice. Find about the name. Oh, that's wonderful. In the context of this documentary, what legacy do you hope to leave for future generations of seniors in the Okanagan?
Yeah, for future generations of seniors in the Okanagan, I really hope that the legacy is just to get out there, connect with one another. Don't be afraid to try new things. There's a whole world of friends just waiting to meet you. And if you're an organizer, keep seniors in mind, when you're doing your programming, when you're applying for grants. And if there are existing projects that are already out there, fund them. Make sure that they keep going, because when you think about, a line item on a budget, there's people behind that. There's community, there's connection behind that. So instead of, thinking about, where we can cut costs or change things, try expanding it. Make it bigger and make sure that it continues.
Right.
Because these are the gifts that just keep giving from beyond, and and making it, maybe even multi-generational as well too. But I think the power of community partnerships is very important, because that also helps with kind of creating legacy and projects as well. The more people that have buy-in with it, the more that they're not going to want to let it go as well too.
One of the things I've really noticed it's been more than 3 years that I've been doing the Artsy with Alice, is each year the group is completely different. So people come when they have a need to meet people, to address their isolation or depression or loneliness, or for whatever their need is. They come and they connect with people. And when that need is filled, they continue on in a different direction and someone else comes in with it. So I've seen the whole circle of it change. Each year there's a different group. So it's completely different this year than it was last year.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I can see that, and how wonderful that opportunity then is available for the new folks coming in, and the folks that have kind of, moved on. They know it's there to go back to. right?
Right.
So, I mean, what the community's been created, and yeah, I think that's so beautiful.
We had one artsy ager who lost an adult son to an overdose. A few months later, she lost her mother. And then a few months later, she lost another adult son to overdose. And watching her just heal through the process of art and connection in the group and the support that she got there, within a year, she was out getting a job and she was out doing completely different things, and seeing her strength and her confidence that she got from the support from the group was really heartwarming.
Yeah. Well, that's the healing power of community and the healing power of art.
Right.
That's so beautiful. Yeah. Such a sad story that, it's through grief, being able to have outlets like that. You never know what that can mean to someone. And again, when we think about, funders and having spaces for people to go and be their authentic selves, right? Ensuring the continuance of programs like this.
Right, yeah.
You never know, literally where it's saving lives and changing lives.
Absolutely. Since it is a seniors group, we have members in our group who have lost a partner. We have 3 right now who are in the process of losing their partners from health issues. So that kind of support really gets them through those trying times.
Yeah. On the outside looking in, you're thinking, oh, they're just coming to do a whole bunch of art, but there's so much layers beyond that.
Right. And a safe space for them to tell their story. Yeah.
Exactly.
It means a lot to them. Yeah. What are your hopes and aspirations for the future of art programs for seniors in our community?
I think my hopes for senior art programs in community are really just around seeing them expand. Really seeing them being normalized in lots of different spaces. I think that art and the creation of art shouldn't just kind of be siloed off, sometimes. I loved when the art was at the mall. I thought that was so cool because people were out, doing their shopping, and there's a whole bunch of people painting,
Right.
And then, of course, it piques the curiosity. What's going on over there? I want to be part of that. And I think, making sure that the seniors are always part of the process as well too, and that things aren't just prescriptive for them, here's the project that we've decided that you all should do, but they're a part of the project, creating it themselves. I think that's a really exciting idea. And then, because I think there was another project that came through, oh gosh, I can't remember what that one was called. It was from a group of artists from, was it further north? Was it Vernon? I can't remember now. Anyways, but they created a documentary and a video project. Had so many different types of mediums in their show that they had as well too. And it was just so neat to see what different people were doing. And there's so many stories to be told. I'd love to see more things with seniors dance, seniors theater, this type of thing. Or then had the seniors zine, right?
Right.
Yeah. There's so many stories and different things to be shared. And just having it in more spaces as well too. Because sometimes, folks think, they're getting older, put them on the shelf. It's this is they've got a whole new life to lead.
Right. There's no demand of jobs or children.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it frees up people to be able to spend a lot of time being creative.
Exactly. They're living healthier longer. There's it's kind of this whole new phase and way of being, So, and I think also too, for folks that maybe are a little bit more hidden, that there's also consideration given to them as well too. I would love to see more art and different types of creative projects in different types of assisted living and retirement homes. More outreach for people who maybe have mobility issues, that type of thing. Because your Arts Matter moments that we did during the pandemic with Shaw TV.
Right.
That was, that was kind of a solution to, well, if somebody can't be out, how can we still reach them? So the creative solution right there, So yeah, just different ways to reach people. And I think also too, bringing in some of that intergenerational pieces as well, so that, people coming up are having more normalizations of these active, vibrant seniors, right? And it's like really kind of like changing the script on what it means to be senior, have a seniorhood,
Right, yeah. We have some interesting projects we've been doing the last while. I don't know if you remember those 2 large pieces that you had donated to some campuses. We've just finished those.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if you recall, we started one with hearts in a summer project or something. We were going to make little squares on them. And it sort of evolved from hearts to anything you want to paint in a square. So it has become like a large, almost arch quilt, and it's finished now.
Oh, beautiful.
And the other one we did a picture of an old woman walking down a path with a fox and a crow on her walking stick, just walking through the forest.
Oh, it sounds so beautiful. Yeah.
And the Artsy Agers decided that they want to make prints of those and offer them to all the supporting groups that support the Aging Well Penticton.
That's brilliant. That is so cool. I love that.
Yeah. And they really seem to enjoy being around one table. We do a lot of art where people are working individually and you're getting a lesson, that sort of thing, but where they were doing their own thing and they were all in one space and doing their own thing, but got to chat a little differently in a different situation. They really enjoyed that. So I think I'd see more of that coming up in my plans.
Really cool.
And more at the mall. We've got some coming up plans for at the mall and perhaps at the senior center. And I'd like to see more like the mall type of situations because we've had, I had one last year, the year before, that really struck me. I was painting, I turned around and I'm looking in the mall, out towards the mall, and there's a woman standing there going, I thought, what the heck? And she came and told me later she had been very depressed. She didn't know what to do with herself and she just needed to get herself out of the house. And she went to the mall. She never goes to the mall. And she found this art group and was just thrilled. She has attended every session, I think, since then.
That's brilliant. And she never would have known about you unless you'd been at the mall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some of those connections are so important.
Yeah, and the mall has full accessibility too, which is so good.
Right.
So,
one of our regular attendees, well, Teresa, she's in a wheelchair, so Lear House is not right now the most accessible building, but everybody supports her and helps her with her chair and helps her get seated and do whatever she needs help with. So, and she says regularly how much it means to her to get out for that program. She really enjoys it.
And that's the community part of it, right? Like it's again, it's like, you have the amazing art projects and, all this creativity flowing and all of that, but then it's the personal connections, the friendships that are being made that really tie it all together.
Oh, very much so, yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just support seniors art.
I know you've gone on in a different direction. I just want to say how nice it was to start this program with you and how much it meant to me to be working with you. It was a real pleasure.
Oh, well, thank you, Alice. It's been absolutely so wonderful, like, honestly, of my heart, to be able to work with you over these years. It started all the way back at Sowens and then all the way through to the Arts Council and seeing how the programs blossom and grown and how you've blossomed and grown through it and the participants, have all come together in this beautiful, bigger sense of community. I mean, you're creating a legacy, through the work that you're doing right now. So thank you so much for doing that and taking the reins and going forward with that. It's been so wonderful to see.
It really is such a pleasure for me. There's not many people I know who could say they love their work so much as I do.
And they love you. They love you. It's so apparent. I love it.
Thank you for doing this interview with me.
Oh, thank you for having me.